Hello, everybody, and welcome to Riding the Pine, where we can't be trusted to show up on time, or just not even just on time, just reasonable lateness. Instead, is it 6 after right now? Yeah, we are late. We're the latest ever, and that's okay. This is the only type of late that you want to hear. Otherwise, you're having a kid. It's a bad thing. No one should have kids. Anyways, I got Lou, John, and Dom with me today, and we are celebrating so much. So much we are celebrating. All of us have a mystery meat, a potted meat, today to eat, which is a lot of fun. Now let me find the reason we have this on my phone. I had to get it sent to me from Lou in order to... Okay, so this is how the conversation went when deciding what we should eat during the live show. Dom said to commemorate the launch of MTV, we should eat really trashy food, which makes sense. I'm pretty sure it was Lou, right? Lou suggested Spam, and then he said that Spam was linked to World War I in some way, which it's the start of World War I today. Does today commemorate that, Lou?
Today commemorated the launch of MTV and the beginning of World War I. Yes.
Right, which makes sense. But Spam
Which I
wasn't
don't
made
know which
until...
of those things is more horrific, quite frankly, when you, in retrospect.
But Spam
Not
wasn't
leaning
made
towards
until
MTV.
right. Shut up.
Right,
Spam
I
wasn't
had
made
this
until
image in my head.
right before World War II. You guys
Correct.
need to wait your goddamn turn.
I was answering your question.
The adult is speaking.
Singular.
And then Lou had Googled Spam and August 1st and found that August 1st of 2003 was the day that the U.S. anti-spam, which is the email spam, bill was killed on the Senate floor, and also the grand opening of the Spam Museum in Austin, Minnesota was yesterday. So we decided that Spam was the thing we were going to do today. So we are eating different concoctions. Did you all pick something off of the Spam website? Because I did.
I didn't know there was a Spam website.
Why wouldn't
Spam
Spam have a website? It's an institution since World War II.
Spam just kind of strikes me as something that, like, I can't imagine that, like, Gold Bond medicated powder doesn't need a website because the people who are using it don't know what a website is. So
Spam was probably the first website.
Actually, my grandmother makes Spam stuff. Apparently.
That's awful and cheating. Did she make this for you?
No, she did not. No.
Oh, good. Because then we were going to
I
have
made
to.
myself. Yeah.
We were going to have to fight Nana.
Yeah.
And that would be bad. So what I chose, and I fucked it up actually, because I was in a hurry, and I'm going to show you this. This is supposed to be a Spam and kimchi ramen burger where the ramen are the buns, and it is that. Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Hold on. No, it gets better. But I forgot it called for egg to hold the fucking thing together. I didn't do that. So it's basically like holding shitty noodles together. Like if I let go of this, it's all downhill. It's falling apart. And then it's got fried Spam and kimchi, which I've never had kimchi.
Is that still like partially crunchy, the noodles, or are those completely
No, I cooked it. I boiled them and then put them in the freezer so they would hold form. And then I forgot to add egg to them before I did that. So, should we take a bite right now, or should you all introduce your stuff?
I think we can introduce.
Oh, good, because I'm trying to hold off on this.
As long as possible.
Looks like she's on the other foot
It smells not good.
Well, I have a roasted Spam and mustard to commemorate World War I sandwich.
Oh.
And it's
roasted?
Yeah.
Like you put it in the oven?
Yes, I did. That was a recipe. I googled stuff to do with Spam, and it came up, and it smells awful.
I've had Spam before, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. John, what'd you grab?
So I have never had Spam before, surprisingly, but I have tried other things like Vienna sausages and things like that. Didn't really care for them too much. But I went the easy route.
Canned meat in general is awful.
Yeah, this is true.
You did?
I went the easy route. I have an unopened can of Spam.
Oh no! No, don't not cook it. Oh
Now,
God!
we need to talk about some things. First of all, Spam is ready to eat straight out of the can. I want to make
It
sure
is.
that is
It's
clear.
not dangerous.
It's
It's
not dangerous.
It's just gross. Are you eating it with a fork? Oh, okay. So you prepared.
So it really is just pork, ham, salt, some potato starch, some sugar, and a little bit of sodium nitrate to keep away the botulism.
They're downplaying the salt.
Oh, I'm
Salt
sure
should
of
be
that.
first. Oh God.
I'm sure of that. But it is
I'm still
actually
holding this
like
together.
people,
By the way, it's gonna fall apart if I don't.
people always call this fake ham. It actually like is ham and pork. So I want to make sure that's clear.
Yeah.
And by the way, the expiration date on mine is April 2019.
Mine was June 2019.
Oh, mine's
not
going bad. Maybe I should have.
You should go back and get a new one. Okay, Lou.
I demand a refund.
So Lou, what did you get? Did you make something, or are you going canned as well?
I made Spam and eggs. Ham and eggs are my
Are you
favorite
eating it?
breakfast. What? It's right here.
You're eating it?
I'm gonna eat.
You guys are awful.
Did we just make this to make it? I'm gonna fucking eat it. What are you talking
No, I mean
about?
you're eating it now. It looks like you were chewing.
No, I took a piece of egg. I know what egg tastes like,
Oh.
and it's good.
Oh, I was like, don't fucking break the seal before the people are watching.
So it's Spam and egg, and I wanted to do what John did. So I do have one raw, uncooked, just thing. It smells like now for everybody out there. I got the significantly reduced fat Spam. I got the turkey Spam instead of the pork Spam.
I almost got bacon Spam because it sounded crazy.
Yeah,
So I got the turkey Spam. So it's got a lot less calories, a lot less fat, a lot less sodium. It when I opened it, I gagged because
It's oily.
It smelled like wet cat food, and wet
How
cat food to
oily
me
I am.
is the worst thing in the world.
It does smell like cat food. No, that's not a joke. If you've
It
never had
smells like
Spam,
I've never had Spam.
It's
I'm
straight-
really I want to get into this. I'm so excited.
all right. So go ahead, I guess, and then I'm trying to figure out a way to attack this. All right.
Here we go.
It opens very easily.
Huh.
No. No.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
take a look. Take a look. Take a look.
Yeah, it falls out like a big glop of shit.
Oh man.
It
It
bounced.
tastes doughy.
Okay.
Like it's a very doughy
Wait, hold on.
taste.
So I've had Spam before. The Spam is not surprising me. This has fermented fucking cabbage on it. There's parts of this that I like, but it's like an assault on your face. The inside specifically. Oh, okay. All right, John.
Oof.
All
Take
right.
it away.
So I'm assuming that this is not going to be too terrible. I actually, as a kid, really enjoyed eating hot dogs straight out of the package. So I'm assuming this isn't going to be much worse than eating a bad hot dog. So let's see what happens. Oh, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Ugh.
It's just really salty.
It's just very salty.
Like hella salty.
To me, it doesn't like. I've taken so many bites so far because I'm like, wait, I must have not put it in my mouth because there's nothing there. It's like a flavorless Listerine pack. It just or strip. It just falls apart in my mouth. It just disintegrates. There's nothing to it.
When you
It's
cook
almost-
it. Oh, sorry.
It's almost like Slim Jim forgot to put the pepper in.
I tell you what, though. when you
Now
cook
I am
this
gonna
shit-
try the raw piece now.
Now
Let's
I
try
got a
this
single because I didn't want the whole pot.
Oh, I got an outside piece. That's so slimy.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
an end. Oh,
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. That it's really like doughy. Like it's
yeah. No, the texture if you eat it raw is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's not good.
I don't mind it at all. I actually kind of like it. I'll
Now-
tell you, I also
Well, you
brought
grew up on
1 hour
MREs, so
Well, that's not true. I only had to eat MREs for a week, and I had fried shrimp in basic training, so I'm not going to complain about the Air Force food.
Oh,
Okay,
So I got Mont Olive sweet gherkins to be able to chase what I expected the taste to be. But together, it's actually even better. I am pleasantly surprised with Spam.
What the hell is wrong with this show?
See, the thing
These
is,
are
the
my
thing
new
about it
friends,
is,
everyone.
it's not the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth, but like I'd rather eat McDonald's if that tells you anything.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna spend
Like
no money,
Jack in a Box.
Yeah.
like if I'm going to spend less money than I should for something to be actually nutritious and quality, I'm not gonna go to this.
By the way, do you want to see my burger?
It looks
I
very much
agree
like
with
the
you.
flying spaghetti monster
Oh man.
crashed into a wall.
So there you go. Anybody
The
who
one true
decide
God.
you're going to try Spam, make sure you have some sweet gherkin pickles with it, because it's
When
actually
you cook
pretty
it, though,
good.
when you cook it, and I have a single, and it was I accidentally got the light one. I was gonna get the regular one because I wanted to be a purist, like a purist, but I actually got the light one. There's still tons of fat in it, like it just drips. It's
Yeah,
oily.
yeah, that the texture.
Like if you
don't-
can see the shine on my fingers, like it's wild.
Did you cook
by
it
the
at
way-
all?
Oh yeah, I cooked it. I fried both sides. The kimchi is
Yeah, it still looks raw no matter how much
fine.
you cook it. It really does.
yeah.
I don't know.
It's just not...
Mine browned up pretty good.
Now,
Mine
I will say, I have been very poor in the past. This is just one of my spam stories. I've been very poor, like circa 2008, and my girlfriend at the time and I, all we had in the house was one packet, one of these thin, slim packets that my mom got me as a joke gift that we just had thrown in the pantry and forgot about, and then like 3 potatoes. And I made, and like an onion, and I made the best goddamn hash ever. Like, we started to eat it, like, for breakfast occasionally after that on purpose. So, Spam is not all bad, but this whole raw thing that John's got going on, no thank you.
You know what it
cook
tastes like? Have y'all ever had those, have you ever had those baby food sausages? Like those ones that come out of the little, like the Gerber's baby food sausages? It tastes like that raw. It's got the same consistency and the same texture.
Yeah.
No, I don't like. Do not like.
Oof. Oh, it's starting to burn as it goes down. Oh god.
I think the Fallout series got it wrong. It won't be bottle caps that are the next currency. It'll be Spam cans.
Walmart
Oh,
for
man.
new banks.
I'm very
Think
much,
about it.
very much okay with the fact that I'm not going to eat that anymore.
Spam puts a 3-year shelf life on it. I'm feeling like that means it's good for at least 5.
Yeah.
Decades. Okay. All right. Oh.
Now, here's something before we move on to like sports stuff. So something that's eventually going to happen that people may have seen is the Taco Bell is answering Burger King's call, and they're coming out with the Cheeto burrito.
God.
I got to tell you, I'm in a situation now where I'm a little disappointed. For 2 things. One, I'm a little disappointed in our food that, aside from Tom Brady, like nothing we've had has just been dog shit awful. You know, nothing that we've had has been terrible.
The mac and Cheetos were
No, the
dog
mac
shit
and
awful.
Cheetos. No, the mac and Cheetos were they were just bad.
They were
fried
so
mac
bad.
and cheese. They
No,
weren't
it made me
terrible.
sick. No, thanks.
But my
I'd
point
like
is
to-
where I'm
I'd
going
like to
with this
say-
is
The concoction of Mountain Dew and
Yeah, you did that to yourself.
that was on you though.
First
But
my
my
show,
thing
you're
is-
jumping the goddamn shark like some
You really
amateur.
did, man. You really did. But
Hey,
you know what I'm
15
worried
viewers.
about though is between Taco Bell. Dude, we're at like 11. Between Taco Bell and Burger King and Sonic and Wendy's and everybody, what I'm so worried about is these guys starting a fast food arms race. Because just like the arms race in
Because
history,
we're gonna
it's the
die.
populace. Yeah, it's the populace who ends up suffering one way or another, whether a real war breaks out or whether it's just all the resources are allocated towards these nations that will never get
No,
used.
it'll
There's
just be
remember
us.
in the movie
bad-
remember in what the movie was that with Stallone? I forget.
I don't know.
If you don't even know what movie you're about to make an analogy to, you don't interrupt someone. Like, if you don't even know, like, are you fucking kidding me?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We've just gotten a moment into the psyche of Lou as a father.
Oh God. Oh.
Like, it'd be one thing if I'm sitting here talking, you'd be like, hey, you know that one move that Articuno does, Arctic Blast? It's awesome. But if you're like, hey, you know that one cold bird in the Pokemon? It's in an island.
Demolition Man. It's called Demolition Man, and
There it is.
the franchise wars. Remember?
Well, yeah, and the only one that survives is Taco Bell, so
Yep.
it's the only restaurant left on Earth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't make any sense.
that's
If there
what's
was only
gonna happen.
one, then it'd be so easy for... That doesn't even make any sense, because if there was only one thing to go eat, it would be so easy for me to start Lou's Spam and Eggs, and people would want to go pay for it because it's something that they're not used to eating. So that whole idea I didn't get.
Well,
Unless it was, like, subsidized by the government, or, like, you know, maybe it got nationalized or something.
No, it's
That
'cause
had to have
Taco
been
Bell
the thing.
has a deal with Pepsi, so they sell Mountain Dew. And the only people that survived were the people in mountainous West Virginia. Anyways, we also talked sports on this show, not just spam recipes.
We
Which,
do?
by the way, there is spam sushi, and I almost
Yes.
did it, but I couldn't figure out sticky rice. I'm just not that skilled. So I guess there's two things happening right now. But
What are they?
the most important thing to me really is Draymond Green's dick. Now, I want the audience to not look this up until after I describe what his dick looks like. But I have a picture on my phone of his dick, because I have no goddamn shame. Here, I'll get you a really quick peek of it. No, actually, I can't. Oh God. Oh God.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've expanded it on my phone. I just had it and I sent it, and I gotta actually go. I have to go out. It's too much dick. There's too much detail. He's a professional athlete. He's got a really good camera on his phone. Okay,
God.
so I'm gonna explain this to you. Draymond Green is like 6'7", 6'8". He's a big dude, black dude. Actually hails from my hometown of Saginaw, Michigan, and doesn't shave. So, or at least he doesn't shave a lot. He's got a few weeks growth going. Okay. It's average size though. I'm surprised. Like, it's not humongous. I guess I look at him and you think, wow, that guy's got a huge dick. It's not. And then clearly it was circumcised. 'Cause
You've clearly spent more than a few seconds thinking about this.
no, it's in my hand right now. So
Not for the first
about
time.
two-thirds of it is milk chocolate, and then above that is just straight cacao. It's
Oh
much
God.
but the head looks like you ever seen like a black person with a skin thing and they have like sort of there's blotchy?
Yeah.
Like it's not alopecia, but it's something like that, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's what Michael Jackson said he had, but I never saw evidence of that. But yeah, the tip of his dick looks like that. It looks like Charlie Villanueva turned into a dick. If you guys don't know what Charlie Villanueva looks like, I'll show you a picture in a second. But it's
What the hell? I guess
you know
this is
what, you know what's
sports.
awesome too? He's clearly right-handed. It's got a left lean to it. It's okay. So here's Charlie Villanueva. If I can share the screen here. There he is. Just imagine this thing turned into a dick.
Oh,
Look at that guy. Wait a second. That was the link. Open image in new tab, Jake. And then you guys zoom in a bunch.
Yeah,
That's
I'd say
Draymond
that's
Green's.
accurate.
That's Draymond Green's dick.
Just imagine that, but penis. And
Yep.
minus the
Okay,
red
now
top, if
everyone
you
has
have that
permission to look up
we can
Draymond
see.
Green dick. Oh God.
Oh, we tainted
What
some
happened
people's
with
search
this?
history.
How did this occur?
How did this occur? So basically,
Snapchat.
what happened was, he was on Snapchat and was trying to send a dick pic to just his girlfriend, or I think a girlfriend, or just some, whatever, someone who was trying to fuck. Anyways, he ended up sending it to everybody, all of them.
Oh,
Every
geez.
single person got his dick that follows him on Snapchat.
Well,
So, yeah, good for him. You know, at least it's not super tiny. That would be worse. That'd be way worse.
I don't know. I feel like the slight underwhelmment is because we could make a lot of
Punches-
jokes if he had like a
punches
tiny
so-
penis, but
He punches so many dicks that, like, if it was any smaller, it would be almost hypocritical.
fair enough.
Yeah. Lou, what are you doing? Are
You
you looking
okay,
at
Lou?
Lou, are you looking at Draymond Green's dick right now? Because I see your
Lou?
face, and
Lou, are you gonna die out there? Like, what's happening, man?
I don't know what's happening with him.
Yeah, I'm.
Lou, are you talking?
okay?
Did you see a dick? Lou?
So, I mean, clearly Marvin Lewis has got to be on the hottest seat in the NFL, right? We all agree.
Yeah, we can also talk about the coaching hot seat as well. Marvin Lewis.
I will say one thing
Marvin Lewis
about,
is not on the hottest
about
seat.
the dick. I will say one thing about, and I don't want to talk about penises, but this goes back to something that I was talking about a few weeks ago. So this guy sends out a picture of his junk, and he accidentally sends it to the world instead of to an individual. You know what gets me is this goes back to something that I talked about on the show a few weeks ago. These guys are multi-millionaires. These guys are world-famous pro athletes, and they're still having to work for it. They're still having to chase women and having to try and tempt them with pictures and stuff. Man, I just can't imagine. I mean, not that Draymond Green's Michael Jordan by any stretch of the imagination, but I can't imagine Scottie Pippen having to work for it back in the day. I can't imagine Shaq having to work for it back in the day, or Penny Hardaway, or you know, fucking even
Charles Barkley did though.
no, Charles Barkley. He did it out of fun though. He did it out of love of the game. You know, he wanted.
Hey girl,
Muggsy
you want to
Bogues-
see King Charles?
Muggsy
second?
Bogues wasn't working for it, man. What has happened?
Oh,
What has
that's
happened
terrible.
that this has started? Ah,
Muggsy Bogues probably has a bigger dick than Draymond Green.
I mean, there are a lot of tall black men in the NBA. You know.
Lou was just so disappointed that this got turned into dick so quickly. Yeah, well, you know,
There are a lot of tall
okay,
black men in the
here's the thing.
NBA. I
Okay,
think
look.
it was on every talk show I listened to today. I'm just
Okay,
throwing
here's the
that out
thing.
there.
Here's the thing. Not every sports talk show talked about it's 2/3 milk chocolate and then a third white chocolate. Okay, that's
I
what
had to
didn't get
describe
talked
it in
about.
great detail.
Yeah, everybody did analysis of the situation, not anatomical analysis of the dick. Okay,
Right, I
that's
know,
the difference
because
between
we
us.
bring to the people what they actually want, not this canned ESPN bullshit.
You mean
guys
the
came
spam?
for the dick? You're
yeah, we
gonna
bring you
get
canned.
the dick.
We bring you canned meat. We just don't bring you canned meat. So
Can't
Don't make a
Oh.
fucking dick pun. You're better. You're better than that.
Yeah, you just
anyways,
got mad at us for not being better than that. So
moving on away from dicks, and into the NFL, where also Ezekiel Elliott showed everyone his dick. We're talking hot
stop.
seats. We're talking hot seats. I'm not gonna talk about Ezekiel's dick. I'm good, man. But hot seats in the NFL. Who's gonna get the fuck fired next year if they suck? Dicks. And Lou, you said Marvin Lewis?
yeah, that's an odd choice.
Marvin Lewis has got to be the hottest seat in the NFL, and that's the thing. When you look at the NFL, you had so much. Here's the thing that's crazy. I can't tell you. There's not a coach when you look at the active coaches in the NFL. There's not one that I look at and say, oh yeah, that guy doesn't win 9 games and make it. You know, that guy doesn't win the division and make it into the second round of the playoffs. He's gone. Because there was so much turnover last year and 2 years ago. Rex Ryan, doesn't matter what he does, he's not getting fired. Andy Reid, he's not getting fired. John Fox at the Bears, he's not getting fired. None of these guys are getting fired because they've been there for a year or two. I can't name someone who's really on the hot seat except for either A, Jeff Fisher, or B, Marvin Lewis. Those are the only two.
Jeff Fisher should always be on the hot seat.
But he never
Always.
has been. But he never has been for some reason.
Yeah,
I mean
yeah.
Marvin Lewis is definitely on the hot seat with the Bengals. You know, he's now 0-7 in his career in the playoffs. He's ranked 16th among active coaches win percentages, so he's very mediocre, but he's the absolute worst in the playoffs. Everybody makes a big deal out of him getting an extension after they lost. And actually, what they did was they tore up the last year of his contract and then just signed him to a 2-year deal. So he really got a 1-year extension, and the team can cut him loose at any point right now. So really, he's got to be the hottest on the hot seat. Well, what do you guys think? I mean, who else out there is in a position where they need to win or they're out?
Jason Garrett probably might be.
The Cowboys are just such a go-to answer every year, though. If you're the head coach of the Cowboys, you're always on the hot seat. You know,
he
you
didn't
wake
have
up on the
Romo
hot
last
seat.
year. He did not have Romo last year, so it's like I feel like Jerry Jones is aware of the situation.
He kind of wrote last year off, I would think.
Right.
Yeah, I would say so.
Which
now,
is why
if he loses,
he'll be on the hot seat this year.
If he loses with Romo, then maybe, yeah.
Right.
But I got to go Jim Caldwell. I mean, he was on the hot seat last year, and we got new management, and he happened to make the cut. But I feel like he's on a year leash because Dan Quinn.
He's only been in Detroit for a year, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Or 2 years. 2 years. Yeah, so he's been there for 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fine. No, actually, this is his 4th year, isn't it? Jeez.
He's 18 and 14 as a head coach there.
Oh,
so
then just 2 years. This is his 3rd year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Terrell Austin was the one that was getting recruited the year before. Because they had a really great defense. But I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up being our next head coach. But Jim Caldwell he always looks like he doesn't know what's going on.
he looks like he's saying to himself, "Shit, did I leave the back porch light on?"
Right.
Like,
he always forgot something.
I forgot what
it's not
Jim
like-
Caldwell. I forgot what Jim Caldwell looked like, so I looked up a Google image search of him, and that exact picture that you guys are describing showed up in the Google
Yeah,
image
exactly.
search.
That's just who he is.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if he's actually that aloof in reality. He just looks that way. Now he did win a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens when he was the quarterbacks coach, and the year that Joe Flacco got paid hella cash.
Yeah, hold
But I don't know if that means he can make a whole team run. Now Jim Bob Cooter. I love saying that name. Jim Bob Cooter, the offensive coordinator of the Lions, should get a lot of credit for saving Jim Caldwell's job last season. Because at the fucking break, like the bye week, they had won one game, and after that they almost went 500. I think they went 7-9 last year, didn't they? It was not good, but they really brought it around, and I don't think it had anything to do with him. Now, so I would not be surprised if he's gone next offseason. I just think Dan Quinn, the new GM that we got from the Patriots, who's doing very well. I think he came in and thought, okay, if I'm getting rid of him, who's in charge?
Mm-hmm.
And there was no really person on the market worth it at the time. So I feel like he's kind of he's not going to lose you games. He doesn't make bad decisions. He's not Marty Mornhinweg when he kicks off in overtime. Which I remember that game. I was 7 years old, and I looked to my dad and I'm like, why are they kicking? They just won the coin toss in overtime. And my dad looks at me and goes, I guess the coach has more faith in his defense? And that's when it was sudden death.
Right.
Always. And they lost on a field goal. Immediately. It was crazy time.
Well, now let me ask you a question, Jake, for the Jim Caldwell thing. Do you think that do you think the situation is bad enough that they should make an in-season replacement? And if so, when would you do that?
Well, the only time I would ever do that is right after the end of the game before bye. And I don't know when their bye week is. This actually I do. I have it written down.
Yeah, the only time you do that is during a bye week.
Week 10, though. That's
whenever
week
you
10.
bring someone in.
So
it takes a long time to learn a playbook.
Right, exactly. So if they did that, you'd make what you'd do is you'd make Cooter your interim.
That's where I was going. That's where I was going with that whole thing.
I don't think he should run a team either, though. His name's Jim Bob Cooter. No, he's not bad. Most of a head coach's job at that point is to manage your managers, basically. So you manage the different coaches, and you make sure they get the good work in. What you want to see out of a team with a good head coach is proper development. That's why Bill Belichick is heralded as one of the best coaches. He also makes really good crunch time decisions most of the time. Not every time. He makes just mistakes too. But you want to see good development, and that means he's good at coordinating time and seeing, he should be your talent guy. He should be the guy that knows where everyone should be and whose everyone's role is, and then kind of have your defensive and offensive coordinators and the coaches of them, respectively, work on that. And I don't know if Caldwell's ever had a system in place like that. But to be fair, he's never had a depth of personnel at hand. And this year is the first time he actually kind of does. And next year he would definitely have a good one. So I'm hoping he does well because I'd like to see the guy that he's got a pretty good record overall. He was the coach that was there when Peyton Manning left the year before Andrew Luck got drafted. So
yeah, fair enough.
Does anybody have a Skip Bayless, like a whoa kind of shocking guy who might find himself on the hot seat this year?
Skip Bayless would say something like fucking
I've got one in mind.
John Harbaugh.
No, not Harbaugh.
It's
wait,
Carroll?
No?
The only other one, no, Bruce Arians is fine. He might just quit on his own. Not Mike Tomlin, right?
Mike Tomlin.
Really?
Would be that crazy whack. Well, think about it. I mean, take a look at the last few years.
The Rooneys that own the Pittsburgh Steelers are so fucking loyal. Come on.
Ever since they lost the Super Bowl in 2011, they have been in a downward spiral. Now, granted, they've lost to the last two when they've made it out of the divisional round. They've lost to the last two Super Bowl champions. So I get that. You lost to the best. You lost to the guys who went on to win. But, man, since 2011, haven't done anything. Have missed the playoffs twice. And, man, you missed the playoffs 2 years in a row when you have a Hall of Famer like Ben Roethlisberger on your team.
Well,
man, that just doesn't fly. Yeah, I know. You're right. He had a hand injury. But no, you still just... didn't he hurt his hand back in 2012?
His foot? Oh, no, last year he hurt all sorts of things.
No, last year he destroyed his knee. Yeah, and he came back after a few weeks. Regardless, that would be my one kind of wacky out there, like, off-shot guy who might kind of be on the hot seat. Jeff Fisher's an interesting one, and I'm genuinely putting aside my Jeff Fisher hatred. I despise mediocrity more than anything. I would rather my team suck so bad than have a coach like him. He is awful.
The thing is? The thing about him is he's never had a really great quarterback. I mean, McNair was good, but never great. I would never have considered him in the top 5 in the NFL at any given point.
He had Warren Moon at the tail end of his career. He had him at the, he didn't have the good Warren Moon.
That's what I'm saying. Now, but if you look at breakdown, like film breakdown of the Rams' run game, it's incredible. Like I was watching the other day because I have Todd Gurley. We play in a keeper league fantasy-wise, so I have Todd Gurley on my team still. And I was seeing, hey, is that a viable option moving forward for many years to come, or is this kind of a flash in the pan sort of thing? Now I looked at it, and I see all the viability in the world, and not just from Todd Gurley, from anyone with that sort of speed. Todd Gurley is just a genuinely good running back. He has really good ball carrier vision and stuff like that. But and he can break tackles. But like you see, what's that little wide receiver they have, Tavon Austin? What they do a lot, they'll run out of a pro set, obviously, under center, which Goff will be fine with. And this actually helps Goff a lot when I was thinking about it. What they do is they'll always have they have like 5 different looks, and all of them look like one another. Where sometimes I'm not kidding,
racist.
They'll have like 2 wideouts.
That's so racist.
They'll have 2 wideouts, a fullback, a tight end, a running back, and what happens is like sometimes Austin will curl around and they'll do a fake handoff, and then like 2 to 5 times a game they actually hand the ball off to him. But then they also have zone reads, they have just lane blocks, they have draw plays, they have all play actions, and they all look exactly the same until the last possible second. Now, if you go back and watch game film of the Cardinals game specifically, the first time Todd Gurley comes out, they've been running this offense with Trey, but Trey Mason isn't fast enough to do it. Now Todd Gurley hits a
Trey
hole.
Mason might not be alive anymore. That's another thing that needs to be brought up.
I
The dude
don't know.
has. The Rams don't know where he is. He hasn't been on Twitter in 2 months, and nobody knows where he's at. So Trey Mason's a no-show at camp, so nobody knows where he is.
I don't know either. We stopped talking. But it's actually really interesting.
Did y'all have a run, or did y'all just like drift apart? Like, what happened there with you and Trey Mason, Jake?
You know, we're just different people. You know,
Okay.
He's going one way, I'm going the other. I decided not to go into the NFL to pursue more time with my family and friends and work on this beautiful podcast we have. So yeah, I decided to just take a step back, and years down the road, maybe I'll just like be a Hall of Fame head coach or something.
That's very mature and very grown up of you. I'm really glad you could make that decision.
Yeah, I appreciate
the thing the thing with the Rams though is, think about it. You're in a new city. They're not gonna be expected to win immediately. But in LA, what's been the curse of LA all these years? When you've had multiple franchises there, when you've had the Rams there, when you've had the Raiders there twice, when you've had different franchises in LA, you've got to keep those people's attention. You've got to keep people in a metropolitan like that. You've got to score points. No, you got to win. You got to just win games. It doesn't matter if you're winning.
No, it's not just winning.
It doesn't matter.
It's not just winning. It is scoring points.
Okay,
you don't sell games out.
Bread and circuses.
Sell games out scoring 17 points a game and winning 14 of those.
Okay, but regardless, you've got to keep those people there interested. And if things are going south, if you're going to be a 7-9 team for the next 2 years, I think they've got to look at, what are you going to do? Are you going to get rid of Wentz, or excuse me, not Wentz, Goff? No, you just leveraged your future for X number of years to get him. You're not going to get rid of Todd Gurley. He's the best thing going on your team. The fall guy at this point, for right or wrong, the fall guy at this point is Jeff Fisher. He's the guy who's the crosshairs are on, and the expectation is for him to win.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, that said,
I was going to say Hugh Jackson, but
Hugh Jackson?
Yeah.
Hugh Jackson has no expectation to win.
Well, that's true.
He just came in. Now, I will say that I'm not a huge fan of Jeff. He's got a very... I put Andy Reid up there with him too, although I find Reid to be a better coach. They're just so unspectacular all the time, but sometimes they'll put it together a really, really nice season. I think maybe the thing with Jeff Fisher specifically is that he's still playing 90s and 80s football, where it's like ground and pound, really good defense, stout lines.
Yeah.
It's no finesse. Now, granted, they have been playing Tavon Austin a lot. And he's done a good job playing that.
Well, look at his mustache. I mean, the guy thinks that Magnum PI is still in its 3rd season. I mean, shit, he still thinks that Miami Vice is coming on tomorrow night at 9:00. God, I mean, he is a walking representation of the 1980s. So did John drop out because we weren't interesting anymore, or was that an internet thing?
I'm going to assume it's internet. It happened before. Anyways, they also have Aaron Donald, Robert Quinn, Alec Ogletree, Akeem Ayers, like in the front 8. That's a really good young core. Aaron Donald's the best defensive tackle in the league right now, I believe.
I can't believe they let Laurinaitis go. I mean, really, I thought that they were going to keep that core together for a long time.
They wanted to move Ogletree over to the middle linebackers. With why they did that?
Yeah,
and they did because
but regardless, no. I mean, their front 7 is set up to be good for years to come. Like I said, they need to win. They absolutely need to win being in LA. You've got to do that.
I totally agree with you.
Allow me to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go for it, man.
Yeah, I was just gonna defend my Hugh Jackson pick a little bit. I know he's
wrong. Shut up.
Jesus. I know he's new to. He's absolutely new, but the thing is, I think that the Browns are desperate as an organization. Their big plans are all kind of falling apart. And I think we might see some major restructurings across the board over the next 2-3 years.
You know how I look at the Rams and I look at Cleveland. Think of Cleveland like it's a sales organization, and each one of the sports teams that's there is a salesperson, and they've all been struggling because their industry is in the toilet. Well, the guy who sits in the Cavaliers office, holy shit, he just pulled off this gigantic order. Whoa, oh shit, dude, I got to get my stuff together or else I'm going to be out on my ass. And that's where I could see where you're coming from with the Browns. They're like, man, we've been coasting. We've been coasting on just saying, well, we're Cleveland, fuck it. I mean, this is who we are for the last 6 months. But now, oh shit, now we got to get our stuff together. but you know what? At the same time, you could also think of it as, well, hey, Cleveland fans, you got a championship. Just, be happy with that. So that may satiate them and may calm the Browns fans down.
Well, it may calm the fans down, but the organization itself is probably vying to play catch-up, honestly. The football organization definitely wants to be as relevant as the basketball.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, but they improved, whatever you can say. Like, this offseason showed improvement, especially because Johnny Manziel.
I was about to say, Johnny Manziel leaving is their biggest net upgrade, is Manziel being gone.
Yeah, and also they'll have Josh Gordon at a certain point and stuff. And but also RG3, I think this is a really good situation for him. It's a small market team. No one has expectations. Yeah, he doesn't have a huge contract. He doesn't have all these sponsorships anymore. He's on a resurgence tour, and people are kind of rooting for him at this point because when he's on, he's really fun to watch. And I feel like we're going to get that. I feel like he could easily be in the top 18 quarterbacks this year, which, again, is pretty average. But I think it's important for him to start in that area. Because his best year, he threw like 20 touchdowns.
That being said, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll form this thought better. Go ahead.
Yeah, the RG3 thing. The RG3 promised to be the next big thing. Obviously, he came into his rookie season throwing 75%, and
Shanahan ruined him. He sent him back out way too early, back out in the playoffs, and his knee got fucked up.
Yep. And a resurgence tour could be good for him, but I don't think it's going to necessarily help the coaching situation. I think Hugh Jackson is still gonna.
Well, I would say that if he was any other position but the quarterback.
Yeah.
Here's my take on this whole thing. I think that RG3 is walking into a perfect situation for a guy like RG3. He's a quarterback, like you said, with a lot of expectations that kind of got effed over by some bad coaching decisions and some unfortunate injuries. But he's walking into a team that's basically starting over, but already has a bunch of guys that can clearly work. I also think the Josh Gordon situation, only being suspended 4 games, helps him tremendously as well.
Yeah. Also, Duke Johnson Jr. Hold on, real quick. Duke Johnson Jr. Do not be surprised if he catches a fuck ton of balls and is used just a bunch, because he's going to be RG3's best friend. Also Gary Barnidge still. Both very viable this year in fantasy, but also just going to be fun to watch because he's going to need those small dink and duck, keep the chains moving completions to stay effective, especially because he needs to roll out. He's like 6'2", he's not huge, and he's not going to want to take as many shots as he was forced to in Washington. Go ahead, Lou.
No, I was just going to say, I agree with you guys that, look, this is the perfect situation for RG3. I see it as a situation where, yes, he has a great opportunity in front of him, and if there's any place for him to be, this is it. I just don't see it happening. I just see it as he's just not going to make it. It's not a situation that I think it's a bad deal for him. If there was any place for him to succeed again in the NFL and to have a resurgence in his career, this is it. I just don't see the cookie crumbling that way. I just don't see it.
I don't think we're going to get a football Rocky here, honestly. Like, I would love to see RG3, because I used to like watching RG3 when he played college ball. He was, but the thing is, I don't know if this story is going to have a happy ending, especially if any of his old injuries flare up, honestly.
I see this being more of a Ty Detmer and less of a Tommy Maddox. I just don't see this going down well for him.
I'm not saying like a resurgence. He's going to come back and be an All-Pro for 8 years. I feel like he'll have 2 or 3 good years in him, and it'll be fun to watch. Kind of like Michael Vick did after the whole murdering dogs thing.
Yeah, but different situation. Michael Vick went away for something he did off the field. He didn't turn into a massive sack of shit. Well,
Michael Vick was never a good quarterback.
But he was still an excellent athlete, and he still had.
He's an excellent athlete for sure.
We don't know. We haven't seen him do anything. Yeah, we've seen him. A year and a half.
He sat last year.
That's what I'm saying. We haven't seen him do
removed.
Exactly. We haven't seen him do anything in a year and a half. We don't know what he can do.
We have
no idea.
There's a difference. Now, throwing-wise, I agree with you. Throwing-wise. But if Michael Vick can throw those numbers he threw, and still be a viable quarterback in the league due to his mobility, I don't feel like rest ruins that at all. Like, if you using Michael Vick as an example, he had a lot of rest. Like, you think he's just running from butt rape all the time, and that's why he's super fast? Like,
that or running after it, that or chasing it, one of the two.
Sure, maybe, but you're not limited in your ability to still be fast by sitting. You're limited in your ability to read coverages and shit. I'm not worried about that's why Gary Barnidge and Duke Johnson Jr. are going to be his best goddamn friends. And then week 5, when Josh Gordon is back, he'll finally have his feet under him. And I wouldn't expect any sort of great statistics early on, but week 5, if he doesn't turn a corner, then I think it's over.
I mean, it goes so quickly. Once you get in a position where once you lose it just goes insane. Look at me. I was in Calvin Klein underwear ads 6 months ago. Okay, I was on Dancing with the Stars, and look at me now. It went like that, dude. So to say that RG3 could have lost it in the past year and a half is not an oversimplification to me. I don't know. Again, I'd love for the guy to prove me wrong. I'd love for the guy to be a hero. Apparently, he's a great dude. I just don't see it happening. I just think it's unrealistic.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to our AFC North, NFC North analysis now, just to be able to talk more about the Browns.
Yeah, but
said no one ever.
Yeah, something my dad said that resonated with
people in
me.
Cleveland don't say that.
Yeah, something my dad told me that resonated with me for a while. And my dad was an elite athlete. He was very good at what he did. And he told me it only takes a day to lose it and 2 days to make it back. And I don't know if RG3 has put in the training time to get back to where he was. Plus,
RG3 never struck me as a guy that wouldn't work for it, though.
I'll tell you, though, he was bitter.
But does he have the time?
Real bitter with Shanahan there
in Washington.
Rightfully so. I think
was
rightfully
real
so.
bitter.
Totally.
Well, yeah, but if he lost a year worth of it, it's hard to get
back
paid
for that year. It's not like it hurt him financially so much. It hurt him financially in the long run probably, but last year it was fine. And it wasn't Shanahan last year; it was Gruden.
I don't know if RG3 cares about the money more than.
I think he cares about getting his image back. I think he cares a lot.
I do too. I think he's an arrogant guy. I think as an insult. No, I think to an NFL player, I think there is a certain level of ego that comes along.
There's
with that.
ego, and then there's arrogance. I don't think he's arrogance. Arrogance has something to do with the idea that you are superior, but there's no real facts to back it up. RG3 has been at the top of his game, and he was one of the best rookie quarterbacks to come out. I mean, he was the best rookie quarterback that year. And he's played at the top level. He made the playoffs. He played in the playoffs. He played okay until he got hurt. Like, he's not... If anyone has motivation, it's RG3 this year. And I'm not a huge RG3 fan, but it just seems like everything is falling into place for him to not really have a lot of competition as far as quarterback's concerned. He doesn't have this fucking Johnny football bullshit happening in the background. He doesn't have anyone that he worked with in Washington. He doesn't have to. He's not a first-round pick. He doesn't have all this money. He doesn't even have wide receivers. He has no weapons, really, so no one's expecting him to throw for 4,000 yards. But if dude comes out and rushes for 400 yards, throws for 3,000, has 20 touchdowns, people are going to be like, he's back. And he'll get a big contract, because that's better than Sam Bradford. That's better than Fitzpatrick. Like, all he has to do is be better than those guys, and he's back. I just don't think is he going to be worse than someone like Kaepernick or Blaine Gabbert? Like, he can't find a job elsewhere?
I really do think he's walking into the perfect situation for a guy with the ego that he has and the bruises to it that he probably perceives that he took. I think this is a perfect situation for the guy to walk into, prove himself, and rebuild a freaking team. Could you imagine Cleveland doing well after winning the NBA championship? Could you imagine the Browns also doing well? That city will burn itself to the fucking ground.
Now, they have a decent defense, too. Like, let's not forget, they have some players. Like, they're not devoid of talent. They just had fucking kamikaze Josh McCown and Johnny Manziel for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
another thing is, I don't think it's fair to just say he's motivated by ego. I think RG3 does love the game. He plays. I watched him a lot when he played college ball again, and he struck me as the type of guy that gives 100% just for the hell of it, which, You know, I
That's good.
yeah, I sympathized with, and I forget who he was playing against. I feel so garbage right now, but it was like he was like down by 11 with like 10 seconds left of the fourth quarter of the game, and he was still calling plays and like trying to do something, and it was like he wants to win even though there's a very slim chance of it happening. So I don't know. That sort of set in my mind that he might have something to him in terms of love of the game and wanting to get back. But I don't know. It's just been so long, and those injuries just don't go away, even with a lot of time. They can still flare back up, and there's a lot of factors contributing to his rising again. But there's a lot of factors also that could lead to his second downfall.
His second downfall.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. Now, I will
That
say...
sounds like a metal band. That sounds metal as fuck. Second downfall.
That's terrible. Moving on from RG3 and all that shit, Rex Ryan's my really big hot seat guy because he signed his brother.
Really?
Rex Ryan sucks as a coach. Rex
No,
Ryan
yeah, but he's been there
happy.
he's been there for a year.
Yeah, but he signed Rob Ryan. He signed Rob Ryan, and that defense is gonna be garbage, and it's gonna be ugly. And they don't have the team to go out and score 30 points a game. They're going to be behind a lot. Tyrod Taylor's not the greatest quarterback ever. He's kind of a burn the clock type guy. Like this is a bad situation. I'm not looking forward to watching the Bills this season. And
I think that he's going to be on the hot seat next year. I don't think he's in any danger this year. I think he'll be on the hot seat next year, depending on how this season goes. But that being said, yeah, you know what? Actually, I'll take that back a little bit. That being said, if you're a Bills fan and you say, okay, look, we're clearly the second best team in this division. If the Patriots go 0-4, which I think none of us here think that they're actually going to do.
I don't
But
think
if they go 0-4 with Tom Brady not there, and you've got a 4-game deficit on the Patriots, and you don't win this division, you're right. This does demand that does call for him being on the hot seat. I agree.
Yeah. I don't think the situation and the atmosphere is quite the same as, like, say, Cleveland, for example. I don't think a one-year
Buffalo
coach
is
is
so
already
chill. They're just happy you're there.
Yeah, exactly.
They've been trying not to lose you to Toronto, Bills, for the past 15 years. They don't want to lose you to across the border.
Yeah.
No,
That's
they're
what I'm
not
saying.
going.
Like a losing season is not good for Buffalo because then the NFL's like, can we move you to a bigger market now? Can we move you to a bigger market? Ugh.
So here's the deal.
Yes.
Buffalo fans are loyal to a fault, and I think it's probably actually a sort of a central and western New York thing. And I know everybody has their thing. But Rex Ryan represents the blue-collar type of coach, and it's why I have the high opinion of Tyrod Taylor I do as well, because he seems to me like a blue-collar guy. The kind of guy, you guys know what I mean when I say that, right?
I do know what you mean because I remember the moment that Matt Stafford became a Detroit Lion officially was when he dislocated his shoulder and threw a touchdown to Brian Pettigrew against Cleveland to win the game with a broken shoulder, and then he was out for the season.
Was
and
amazing.
we're like, okay, he's a Lion, he's our guy. No more Joey Harrington, no more Charlie Batch. We're in. So yeah, I know what you're saying. Like Tyrod Taylor is a good guy. He seems to work hard. He came in out of nowhere, really, and took the job. But he just isn't. I'm saying he's going to have to play from behind so much. Like, and Sammy Watkins can go up and get it, but Tyrod Taylor doesn't have the biggest arm in the world. It's just, and they have that one weapon, really. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know.
So, Rex Ryan.
Yes.
Is the blue collar. I put them in that same kind of thing. So, what Rex Ryan represents, at least in my mind and from what I gauge from people that I talk to back home, he's kind of become the replacement for Marv Levy. They haven't really had a good team since Marv Levy. And people look at Rex Ryan, and I really do think that they see the Marv Levy that got them to 4 Super Bowls. And I think that they could go 7-9 for the next 3 years, and as long as they don't go worse than 7-9, he's got no issues.
You know what Rex Ryan is, because he's so charismatic and he can work people into a frenzy and get them to follow him even though it's a bad idea. Dude, he's a demagogue, is what you just described, John. He's the Donald Trump of the NFL.
I think he supports
Trump of the
Trump, by the way.
NFL.
You see,
Yeah,
I have a very different interpretation of the situation in Buffalo. I think
You're in Syracuse, though. You're a Buffalo hater.
no, I don't have any problem with Buffalo. I just hate that they get more snow than us because we.
Come on,
want that
kid,
kind
you're
of
from
snow,
up there.
so-
This better be a good hot take. You're from up there. You've got
All right,
inside
well, I
information.
agree with-
Better
I
bring
agree
it.
with-
Better bring it. No pressure.
Fuck you, Lou. Anyhow, I agree wholeheartedly with John that Buffalo fans are loyal to a fault, because they are. They absolutely are. But I think they're more loyal to the idea of their team than any
a coach.
specific person. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're very Spartan in that respect. Obviously not in respect of prowess, because they're. But
Whoa,
I think that
You're a
they're
Cowboys fan. Throwing that out there.
But yeah, I never compare. I never expect anything more of myself. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we don't expect any more of you either.
Yeah, fair enough. But I think they're willing to sacrifice a few pawns to try to win the chess game. In terms of whether or not they look up to a coach or not.
The problem with Buffalo is no free agents want to go there now.
Well, that's because it gets 10 feet of snow a day.
Well, you're right.
That's a
But,
bummer
I
because
mean,
Buffalo is actually a really cool city. I love Buffalo. I think it's a great place.
Yeah, it's a nice town.
It's. I know that. It's just so fucking cold, man. No one wants that shit. Like Jim Kelly went to the CFL or USFL or something
USFL.
to stay away from Buffalo, and then was forced after it folded, and then he's like, "Fuck it, I'll do it," and then he actually enjoyed it, but it took him being there for like 3 years for him to be like, "Yeah."
He played
Yeah,
played for the Houston Gamblers.
Yeah, the guy love the Houston Gamblers.
Yep.
So you know what I just noticed?
Gambling has never been legal here. I don't know why we were called the Houston Gamblers. It didn't make any sense.
You know what I just noticed? Dom has the most recent Super Bowl win among our favorite teams.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I grew up a Packers fan, so I mean, I've got
fucking
that.
count. You live in Houston, you piece of shit. Anyways,
To be fair, if we're doing it just by region, I should be a Buffalo fan.
you should be, but you're garbage.
Yeah, well,
You truly
so
are.
are, so are
I
all
should be
of
a
you.
Buffalo fan too, but I'm a Dolphins fan.
Now, is Chip Kelly on the hot seat? I know he's only been there for a year, but he kind
Does
of burns
anyone
bridges
care?
quick.
Does
right?
anyone care enough to make Chip Kelly on the hot seat?
Do you think his seat is just there and give him one? Because they're like, you're not going to be here long enough.
Let's be real. He's
you don't need
on
to
the
take
hot
a
seat. He's not sitting in a regular chair. Come on.
How many
That's a
strengthening?
fat joke, everybody.
Well, how do you feel about Bill O'Brien?
Here, to answer the question on Chip Kelly first. Chip Kelly, I mean, he's walking into a new situation. I think that people are going to be cautious about him. I can't imagine that 49ers fans are throwing up their hand, are super excited about him. But considering what he does with a read option and how he encourages his quarterback to make plays with their feet and move around in the backfield, that plays to Cap's strength. So I really think that there's an opportunity for him there with Cap. If Kaepernick can get his, I mean, from everything that we saw last year, everything that was wrong with Cap was between his ears. If he can get that right, then I think there's an opportunity. But I can tell you this, I don't think they're going to give him 6 years to flounder and fuck around. I mean, if they're not in the playoffs in 3 years, he's gone. I'll put it that way.
I feel like it was after the first game, Tim Hasselbeck went crazy about Colin Kaepernick and basically sucked his dick on air.
Was that Hasselbeck? Who was that? It was,
Colin Kaepernick is the best thing. Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure it was Hasselbeck.
Well, now,
Or it
granted,
was-
that
or-
being said,
or was it the other guy, the bald one,
it was the bald guy. What's his name?
Detmer?
No, Dilfer.
Dilfer, Trent Dilfer.
Is it Trent Dilfer who we're
It was
thinking?
Trent
of?
Dilfer who was sucking his dick.
Yeah, it
He's
was
like,
Trent
oh,
Dilfer. Yeah,
I
it was
love
Trent Dilfer.
it.
Yeah. Now that being said, Trent Dilfer also said that I can work with Tim Tebow and turn him into a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Get the fuck out of here, Trent. No, I do remember that against the game with the Vikings, how he was going crazy. That being said, we saw a lot of good things. We saw, a year ago what you would have seen out of what you would have seen a year ago out of at the time from Cap would have been, oh hey, there's a guy right there, I can fake him out and I can try and run for 15 yards, or oh wait, hey, I can complete a 4-yard pass and this guy can get out of bounds. Try for 6 and get lit up by a linebacker, or dump it off for 4 yards and let a guy run out of bounds. Hey, long term, that 4-yard pass makes a whole hell of a lot more sense on 1st and 10 when you don't need to get that extra 2 yards. If it was 3rd and 6, yeah, that's a stupid decision. But on 1st and 10, that made sense. So there were a lot of things that really, really made sense, and he looked really good. And in fact, I remember tweeting a whole lot about how good his biceps looked. Oh my God, he was in good shape at the beginning of last year. Oh my God, Kaepernick.
Why does it always get homoerotic?
Well,
Because it wasn't erotic. I just said he looked good. I mean,
Did you touch
boy,
yourself?
bye.
Yes.
Dom, what were you gonna say?
Oh well, I was just gonna give
Come on, that didn't get
Rock
a laugh.
Soldier kudos
Fuck.
for saying Chip Kelly sits on a milk crate at best, and also, are 49ers fans excited about anything anymore?
They're
I feel like
excited about maybe.
I
They're
feel like
excited
they're
about
so,
living in San Francisco. It's super nice out.
it is very nice there. However, I think they're so disillusioned with their football team. I don't know if a hot milk crate exists there.
No.
Yeah.
To answer your question, Jake, on Bill O'Brien, Houston fans, and maybe this is other places too. Houston fans aren't smart fans. Okay, look, I'm saying this to you right now. Anybody in Houston who's watching this, there's a 90% chance you're an idiot if you're a Texans fan. I mean, I'm serious. You go to these games and they're all going, "Yeah, pass the ball to JJ." What the fuck? What are you talking about? Our punting unit is out there. What are you even talking about? Go JJ! It's just, you just hear that the entire game. It's not a smart fan base. In fact, I would think that most Texans fans that I've spoken to have said, "Oh yeah, we had a great year last year. We won the AFC South." No, dude, we won because Andrew Luck almost died on the field. So no, we did not have a good year. We wouldn't have made the playoffs if it wasn't for that. So Bill O'Brien, I think the smart Texans fans are still cautiously optimistic with him. But hey, look, if he can bring any of that magic, he's a quarterback whisperer apparently because he worked with Tom Brady for so long. If he can bring any of that magic to Brock Lobster, then great. But he's not going to get more than. Well, that being said, I mean, shit, Kubiak was here for 5 years doing absolutely nothing and then lucked his way into the playoffs. So, I don't know. By that logic, Bill O'Brien will be here for, I don't know,
I think he
three
means Super
decades.
Bowl win. Lucked his way into a Super Bowl win?
Here in Houston.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Here in Houston, he lucked himself into 2 playoff berths, and we looked, just stupid in the playoffs. I don't see. But then again, I mean, hell, O'Brien could be here for 3 decades by that logic. So I don't know.
John, do you got anybody that you wanted to bring up as far as the hot seat? How you feeling about was it Philbin down there now?
No, Philbin's gone. You got
no.
Adam Gase
Who's
down
down
there.
there?
Gase.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gase, that's
First
right.
year.
Because then you had that douchebag tight end guy. Dan Campbell came in and was like, "We're gonna fucking eat creatine and we're gonna rave and we're gonna fuck." That's actually just what Rob Gronkowski thinks. Like, we're gonna do that. And then now you got Adam Gase.
Hey,
Adam
man.
Gase.
How do you
Texas
feel about
A&M
him?
alumni right there.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Dan Campbell, I mean.
Optimism?
As far as Miami is concerned, I'm happy with an 8-8 season, to be honest with you, because it's a difficult. I think it's a difficult season because I don't think there's any way Miami competes for the AFC East even, and I really do think that Buffalo could end up the 6th AFC team into the playoffs. I think they have a legitimate shot at the last wild card spot.
I'm so worried statistically Rob Ryan defenses suck. So I'm so worried about the Bills falling off the table.
I get that, definitely. As far as the hot seat is concerned, I really think that Jason Garrett is on more of a hot seat than Lou wants to give him credit for. And I realize that you said earlier that that's sort of the safe pick, but I think, as Jake alluded to earlier, if he can't go out there and win with Romo, there's no reason for Jared to stand behind him at this point. Because I feel like he's given him way more chances than I would have ever expected Jerry Jones to do. Because the guy came in as an interim coach and kept the job and hasn't really done any better than 500 in 6 years.
Maybe they're lovers.
Ooh.
You don't know.
Although
don't
Jason
know.
Garrett did play for Dallas for
Now that being
6 or 7
said,
years.
if Jerry Jones could have gotten Sean Payton away from the Saints 2 years ago when he was considering leaving, bye Jason, bye girl, he would have been gone in a heartbeat. So
Jason would
I'm
still
not
keep his
saying-
other job of Jerry's pool boy.
Oh, okay. Jake, did you want to talk about NFL players going into pro wrestling real quick?
Oh, God.
Yeah. Man, what player was that? Some rando off the Texans is actually going to go. He signed a contract with the WWE. He's going to go wrestle. And ESPN ran an article. Hey, who are the most what's your best decision as far as conversion from NFL player to WWE superstar? Who would do the best? And I know my answer, and I feel like everyone else has the same answer. And if not, he's in your top goddamn 3. And the answer is Rob motherfucking Gronkowski,
Yes.
It's
exactly
clearly Rob
what I was thinking.
Gronkowski. The thing what's funny about it, though, is look up a guy named Mojo Riley, and he's a WWE guy, and his gimmick is just watch 2 minutes of him, and his gimmick is he doesn't get hyped, he stays hyped, and he just runs out there just all the time, all crazy. It turns out his best friend. His best friend is Rob Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski shows up to a bunch of events every year. So him and Gronkowski together, I think, would be great. They would be great if the WWE wasn't in the PG era that it is now. If it was back during the Attitude Era, back when it was really PG-13 and honestly pushing the boundaries of R back in the 90s, Gronk would have been fucking great in
Weren't
the
there
90s.
titties everywhere in the 90s? I feel like there was a bunch of titties.
Basically.
Yeah.
I mean,
Great.
yeah.
I'm trying to think of my second favorite, and I think it would be really great to get Johnny Manziel in a luchador mask and just have him go fucking nuts out there, like jumping off all the ropes.
Just snort a line
Right
of
fucking
crack.
Mysterio, just tag team him, and
Snort a line of crack before every match.
Do you snort
people
crack
snort
now?
Cocaine.
We know a lot about crack. Let me tell you.
You're talking to some pretty big crack aficionados here, man. We know our
If
stuff.
I know one thing,
every
it's
episode of
crack
Intervention.
cocaine. Yeah, no, I actually have a big rock of it right here. Just kidding.
That was horrible. Anyhow,
I would be.
but yeah,
What if I did have a crack rock though?
the second you
wouldn't.
brought it
That's
up,
meth.
like everyone's gonna pick Rob Gronkowski. Oh God, say someone else. And I mean, who else could you pick?
You know who I think would be awesome? And he would play a snobby, aristocrat, or he would play like Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man from back in the day, would be someone like Tom Brady. Well, you know what? No,
He's
you would
got
have
a dad bod. Actually, he's got
so did Ted
a
DiBiase.
dad
Ted
bod's
DiBiase
butt
was,
bod.
well, that's what Ted DiBiase was, a big flabby guy, but his gimmick, his character was that he was this super arrogant multimillionaire who could just buy matches from people.
No, dude, if you want that, Richard Sherman, have him Booker T that shit. he's got the dreads and shit too. You could just do that.
Yeah,
thing.
but he's actually eloquent. Booker's not particularly eloquent, so I don't
play
see
it
the
down.
two.
I know he's a smart guy. He went to Stanford, but he's still an arrogant asshole a lot of the times. It's great. Marshawn Lynch. Ooh,
Yes.
he'd be a good wrestler because he'd forget to react to a punch or something.
He wouldn't sell it. He'd just sit there and be like, "Man, what are you doing?"
Be like, what are you, bro? I'm just trying.
I'm just trying to be.
fun.
And then he grabs his balls.
Why would he grab his
Could be-
balls, man?
It could be the modern day junkyard dog.
So is Gronk getting a name, or is he just going in as Gronk? Because I think Gronkosaurus is the obvious answer, right?
I think Gronk is just a great name because it's like
Yeah.
Brock, it's like Brock Lesnar. It's just this single syllable guttural sound,
Yeah,
I think Gronk is just perfect.
I think
You
he'd be
can
great as
change
like a caveman character or something. He just
So tassels.
Tassels for days.
So he's
Tassels
like
for
Macho
days
Man
on that
Randy
guy.
Savage. Ooh, I'm thinking wraparound
Ooh, yeah.
sunglasses.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, that
Oh, and
that,
I
that
want-
would be a good one.
And I don't even want to know what song is playing. Honestly, instead of an actual song for his intro, it should just be the sound. Like someone should just take a recorder. Maybe Gronk can take a recorder into the nearest East Coast rave, like a Jersey Shore rave, and just listen to set it on a table where people are doing coke, and like just the clinking of glasses, and then just this. And then someone in the side is like, yeah, you hear a little, and then out of the side you hear like, if you're gonna take ecstasy, you should drink some water, and then he just walks in. And maybe he has
this
a
is all
Jaeger
assuming
bomb.
that we're still in the Attitude Era, which we're not, unfortunately.
Now he brings it back. The Gronk
He
era.
starts the Gronk
brings
era.
back the Attitude
And instead of
Era.
having
That
a
was-
special move, he just steals everyone else's special moves.
You know
It's
who
like
would be a really
copycat.
good character as just a big, wouldn't say anything, would just be a Brock Lesnar type of guy. James Harrison would be awesome as a
James
big.
Harrison has a huge mouth.
James. Dude, no, he doesn't talk to the media anymore. James Harrison says, "Fuck it, I ain't talking to you guys
he
anymore."
got fined a bunch.
Remember James? Are we talking about the same guy? The guy who played for the Steelers forever, then he went to the Browns or to the Bengals for a year, and then he came back to the Steelers.
Yeah.
We're talking about the same guy, right? Yeah. No. Remember
Huge
how
mouth.
remember on Hard Knocks, he wouldn't allow the cameras near him. He would always walk away from the cameras and just close the door in their faces and stuff.
Because he's an asshole. It's great.
Yeah, I know. He'd be a great character. He'd be a great dickhead character on WWE. It'd be a blast.
John, do you have anyone else in mind, or is it just Gronk, man? Or are we just riding the
Oh
Gronk
no, I
train?
had Gronk locked up.
Yeah? Man. What would your wrestling name be, John? I have mine. Mine is Buff Steelflex.
Oh wait, oh yeah,
Obviously.
there are actual rules for that, right? I don't remember what they are though.
I think it's also the same rules for your porn name, so just whatever.
Oh,
it's like
oh,
first
I'll
pet or something you recently ate, and then your like street name or
Yeah,
something,
so-
and then
so
an
my-
adjective.
Yeah, so my porn name would be Mutsy Gatewood.
Oh fuck yes, Mutsy Gatewood. That sounds like you have mutton chops, and like you just walk around hard all the time. You just kind of you know how when it's hard and you just kind of pull it and like flick it. I feel like that's what Mutsy does.
That's the Gatewood.
Mutsy Gatewood. Lou, what's yours? What's your wrestler name? Not porn name. What's your wrestler name, Lou?
I wouldn't be a wrestler. I would be a manager or a valet, the obnoxious guy who comes out with them and helps cheat. He helps the bad guys cheat to win. And I would be Kip Casper.
You're the gay one. You're the one that applies the tassely nipple pasty in the locker room.
I could almost see.
Why was I applying it with my fingers?
You can apply it with your mouth, but the tassels would get wet, and then they won't tassel. It'd be like a clump instead of a tassel.
Oh, okay.
It's very different.
Your gimmick is that you carry around track lighting?
Mhm.
Oh, is that joke too
That's
old?
such an inside joke. Anyways,
God damn it.
all right, Dom,
I-
what's your wrestler name?
Too old.
Not to interrupt, but for some reason I have this vivid image of now that Lou in the type of suit Mike Heyman wears just getting slammed into a table by Triple H. I
Is
don't
Triple
know.
H still a thing? I don't watch wrestling.
Well, no. Back in the day, Mike Heyman, there was this whole bit where Mike Heyman signed a contract with Triple H.
What's a
and
Mike Heyman?
Anyhow, and
Is that
Triple H.
is that one of those things that when you break it, you're not a virgin anymore?
Who is Mike Heyman? I don't know who that is.
Anyhow, never mind. So my wrestling
Do you
name,
mean Paul Heyman?
Paul Heyman. Jesus, yeah.
Gee, the innovator of ECW. How do you not know that?
Yeah, sorry.
It's because we don't live in the fucking South where everyone sucks.
ECW is from
racist.
Philly.
I bet
asshole.
people in Houston actually think wrestling's real.
Oh, not him though. Not him. It's real to me.
It's still real to me. Damn it.
Dom, what's your fucking wrestling name?
I
You
don't
stop
know. I'd
beating around the
probably be
goddamn bush.
I'd probably be some like super racist Italian stereotype. I'd be Guido.
Meatball.
Yes.
Guido was a wrestler, and his
Yeah.
finisher was the meatball. He was an ECW wrestler.
No, so
Yeah.
you should be
I'm
peppercini
the new-
parsley or parsley peppercini.
Yeah, I don't think there's a wrestling name for new guy no one likes, which I am on this show.
I was about to say, Dom, you've got that covered. I mean, there you go.
Is there anything else going on real quick before we head out?
No, I'm gonna go eat a taco.
Taco.
Put
Yeah.
some Cheetos in it.
She brought me home pork tacos, so I'm gonna go eat
Oh,
them.
carnitas?
Carnitas, dude.
Yeah, that's good shit. Oh, by the way, Dom, new guy nobody likes is
that's me.
Nuovo ragazzo a nessuno piace in Italian. So that's you.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think I have a stomachache from the spam.
I
Those are some
only-
greasy ass noodles, bro.
There's no like health problems for me. It's just I can only stomach so much of this show.
There we go. We got our comment troller as one of the freaking hosts.
Oh god.
Wait,
Hey,
what was that?
I've never trolled a comment section a day in my life. I saved it all for here.
All right, Ragazzo. Anyways, for all these cunts, I'm Jake. We're gonna leave now. But do catch us next Monday when we also do a live show. And then bye. I don't know how to market things.
We're terrible. Just press the button.